Hi, thanks for tuning in to the Ask Valor Masterminds podcast, brought to you by CR Gutters and A Advanced Septic Services. My name's Galen.
I'm Joe.
And we're coming at you from the BD Local Studios in Tacoma, Washington. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the podcast. All right, everyone. Welcome to the Ask Valor Masterminds podcast, brought to you by CR Gutters and A Advanced Septic Services. My name is Galen.
I'm Joe.
And we're coming at you from the BD Local Studios in Tacoma, Washington. So thanks for tuning in, everyone. Real quick, Joe, for our new listeners and viewers, can you tell a little bit about Valor Marketing, our company?
Sure. So Valor Marketing, we're an internet marketing company. We work with businesses of all sizes, and we help them. The easiest way to put it, we help build quality websites and then generate website traffic by getting them onto the first pages of the search engines.
Awesome. And our podcast is about a year old, so thanks everyone for supporting us. Joe, how did our Ask Valor Masterminds podcast come to be?
Absolutely. So it started out as a Facebook group page. We wanted to bring businesses together to communicate with one another, talk to each other, ask questions, share tips. And from that, being that we're a marketing company, we always get a lot of questions from different people, not just about marketing, but business in general. So we thought, what a better way than to bring on different guest speakers, experts in their fields, and kind of just share some tips with our audience on anything really related to business.
Awesome. Which brings us to a quick intro of our guest. We have Esther Paulson on from Rare Solutions all the way in New Jersey.
Greetings from New Jersey.
Yes. So as we continue to celebrate National Women's Small Business Month, Esther's a digital marketer herself, and we'll give a more formal introduction. So Esther, thanks for joining us and everything.
Thank you for having me.
I have a quick question. What's the weather like in New Jersey today?
You know what? It is. It's actually pretty worthy of Washington. It's a little gray, a little moist. We're starting to hunker down into the winter weather.
So no snowflakes yet?
Not yet. We're expecting some in a couple of days, though.
All right.
I don't miss that. I'm from Chicago. I don't really miss that.
I don't miss it either, and I'm here.
So last episode, we had Jamie Taylor on, right, from Confetti Party. Joe, what was one of your takeaways from Jamie? And
sure.
Jamie, just a real quick for maybe our new viewers, tell a little bit about Jamie.
So Jamie's the owner, co-founder, and creative director of a company called Confetti Party, where they put together party boxes that ships to your house. Whether you're throwing a party and you don't want to go to a store to get stuff, you can order it. Like you get nicer napkins and plates and forks and fancy straws and blow up balloons and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's kind of what she does.
So what was your takeaway from when she was on?
Really just as an online store owner, just to have patience. Most people who start an online store, they think, all right, I know a lot of people, and as soon as I launch my site, all of a sudden I'm going to be just, inundated with all these orders. And that's not how it works. It usually takes time to build up. You have to get out there, network, put your name out there. And then also that you should order products based upon what your customer base is ordering. Not necessarily what you think sometimes is going to sell, but more, all right, these are the products that my customer base is ordering. I need to order more of this.
Right. And I know Esther, from talking to her before, she's big on data, so entrepreneurs, small businesses out there, listen to your customers. My main takeaway during this COVID pandemic was just her ability to innovate and differentiate herself from the competition. So like the New York Times founder did a little write-up. So like that kind of publicity, if you're doing something well, someone kind of highlights you, that only helps your business. So she's been able to innovate different kind of how she provides her boxes to what customers are needing. So
yeah, and even after talking to her after the podcast, she even said she got an order from Netflix. So a lot of these big companies are wanting to send their employees boxes of recognition.
Right.
So now she's getting orders from pretty large size companies.
Awesome. So we mentioned the pandemic. So Q Image One, our hashtag Valor Cares promotion. Joe, give a quick rundown what Valor Cares is all about.
Sure. So we're just blessed to be in a position to where our company is growing, and we just wanted to be able to give back to businesses somehow. So we decided with the Valor Cares program. So what we do is once a month, we give away a website build. People can go to our website. I'm sure the link's down below, but you just go to the website, you apply. There's 3 businesses that don't qualify, which is nonprofits, e-commerce websites, and multi-level marketing. But anyone else who, if you're looking to get a free website, just go and submit your information, and then committee will choose a winner.
Awesome. There's also one event that we want to promote, QImage 2. So our Use YouTube to Grow Your Business webinar. So open to all businesses out there.
Mm-hmm.
Carissa is a Google trainer that we've worked with in the past, who we've been lucky to work with and grow our relationship with Google just to help all small businesses. So it's completely free. We'll share that info, but just a great workshop.
Yeah, it's just a topic. There's so much buzz about creating video content and creating a YouTube channel, and then how to maximize your YouTube channel. I'm sure you can watch videos, but a lot of times it's just easier to jump on a call and just learn about it. And we're excited because we're actually partnering with SCORE down in Vancouver, Washington.
chapter.
Yep. Right? And if you don't know what SCORE is a free mentoringship organization to where successful business owners come on and mentor businesses in really all aspects of business.
Awesome. Again, that's completely free. So love to share everything we have. So QImage 3. Now we come to our advanced septic, pump you up quote of the day. So I asked Esther, preparing for our podcast today, do you have a good quote that we could share? And this is the quote that she shared with us. Forget the years, forget distinctions, leap into the boundless and make it your home, from Shuang Zhu. So Esther, what with that quote resonated with you to share that with us today?
Well, there's 2 answers. One, I came across this quote when I was studying college, and it really resonated to me as a young person, just starting my career and starting my journey as an adult. So for me at the time, it meant, just really forget the fact that I was still young and getting started, and forget the distinctions of people that might be more mature than I was, and then just go ahead and just go for it. As I've gotten older, that quote still resonates for me because it still means forget the years, forget getting older, and maybe, seeing people that are coming up, especially in the marketing industry, and forget distinctions, forget, the titles that I might have amassed over the years. It's really about who I am as a person, as an individual, and to still not be afraid to take chances and go for the things that are important to me.
Nice.
Awesome. Yeah, that's definitely a pretty cool way to look at it with the level of success you've been able to attain and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So almost the keep grounded, remember like who you are. That's how it resonates with me and everything.
I like how you mentioned that about the titles, because like on my business card, I wanted to be funny. So I put Director of Awesomeness, because I don't want people to know like, hey, this is a partner of a company, because I've seen that if you have that, you're treated differently. And I just want to be treated the same.
And I saw too, one of your COO, Chief Optimism Officer. I like that. And I actually may even steal that, which I think is really cool. Traditional title, but just different. You just think outside the box and people view you differently,
Exactly.
So now we come to QImage 4, our CR Gutters Did You Know segment. So we have, sorry guys if we get a little marketing nerdiness on the podcast today, but marketing trends. So QImage 5. So Esther shared some stats with us that hopefully will resonate with everyone out there, or some people. So image 5 is 79% of consumers will only do business with brands that show they care about them. So Esther, I know you work with like huge companies, right? Big brands. But for our audience, like the everyday entrepreneur, which we'll get into some more tips later, what does it mean to show that they care?
And it's very simple. Even if you are up and coming or you're a smaller organization, in the communications that you give to a client, you need to demonstrate that you have been paying attention to what they have been asking for, the things that they buy, the things that they engage with. It's just giving people a personalized experience. And it's really just in taking the time to understand what your customers are giving you as far as that is concerned. People want to engage with brands who demonstrate consistently that they know who they are as a customer. Clients are more entitled than ever. and they expect brands to know who they are. They're giving their data, but in exchange, they want that personalized experience. And the brands that do that, and the companies that do that, will retain their customers, and their customers will spend more.
Awesome. Q image 6. So this is there's 3 stats on here. So improving the customer experience increases the first thing. Customer retention by 42%, improves customer satisfaction by 33%, and increases upselling and cross-selling by 32%, a stat by Genesis. So you kind of touched on the customer experience, but I think every business out there would like a higher customer retention. They're satisfied, they keep coming back, and then you upsell. I mean, we've seen that with even our clients who will say, you took care of me on this one small thing, and I like the personal service. They wrote a Google review, and now they don't have to go to Google anymore to look it up because they're like on their speed dial and everything, right? So for businesses out there, or what's your thought on these 3 things?
It's just really the simple principles. Just respond. It's amazing to me how many people will send a message to a brand or to a company and not get a response. And it's because they're busy or they just don't think it's a priority. It is a priority. People do expect to have the companies that they do business with pay attention to them and just give them the things that they are interested in, to talk to them. What is going on, especially now with COVID? People understand that it's a struggle and it's challenging for companies, but still tell those stories. Talk about what is going on with yourself as a brand, and just having that highly personal engagement and that highly personal touch the little things. You don't have to spend massive amounts of money, but you do have to invest time. And the people that do retain their customers, and of course, keeping customers is far less expensive than trying to get new ones.
Yeah, amen to that. I mean, Joe, we make sure to go out of our way to have reviews with our clients and everything.
Right.
Is there something in the field that you've noticed that when I said these stats that kind of hit you a little bit?
Just the first one, just improving the customer experience. Because I think that's what it's all about for all businesses. They don't want to be lied to. They just want to be told the truth. Sometimes the truth is ugly. For us, it could be your website sucks and you need a new one. There's a nice way to say that. I like to say your baby's, telling someone that their baby's ugly, but in just in a nice way. Because people,
your baby's slightly ugly.
Because usually people just lie to them. Or just in the internet marketing industry, they use different terminology to confuse the person because they just don't know, just so they can sell them what they have, even though they're already doing it with another company. So just being, honest and upfront with people, I think is what most people appreciate.
Awesome. We'll go to our next stat, Q image number 7. So this is kind of the result of everything. If you take care of the customer experience, 86% of buyers will pay more for a better customer experience.
100% agree.
Right. I mean, a lot of our clients, I've heard this when we cold call and talk to new clients, they're looking sometimes for the cheapest solution, right? Like, oh, I have a budget for this, or I don't want to do this. And then they complain with the kind of customers they get. The flip side, our most successful clients will say, hey, we're not the cheapest. We're not the most expensive. We're somewhere in between, maybe even higher. But this is why. And their customers are more loyal and they have more reviews online. Their customer experience is better, right? So, Esther, with clients that you've served early on to now, what are some ways that people you could do this so they pay more on that better customer experience?
And again, it comes back to core principles. Give people what it is that they want. If you are selling, for instance, if you're selling jewelry, okay, you take a look at what it is that they are buying, and you tell stories about, or you offer more of the things that they're interested in. This is where what's really tremendous, and it's beginning to become available to the smaller mid-sized markets, more of the machine learning opportunity and artificial intelligence to figure out what it is that what customer behaviors are signaling that they're interested in XYZ, and then presenting that in your communications or in their experience on the website, suggested products, offers. All of those things should be relevant to what the consumer has done with you. And if they're not, if you're just spraying and praying, or you're pushing out to the point that you had made earlier, if you're just pushing out what you think they should be buying versus what it is that they're actually interested in, they're going to feel that they're being sold to. And there's a difference between selling to somebody and marketing to somebody. And the marketing is really that ongoing customer journey and that ongoing customer experience. And we see this in premium brands all the time, right? The customer experience, that premium customer experience, I can go, I mean, I have, very, fairly large luxury automotive clients. And there's a reason why somebody goes and buys a BMW, why they buy a Rolls Royce, or why they buy a Ferrari. There's a reason. It's the customer experience as well as the vehicle versus buying other brands. They pay for that experience. And those principles can be applied to any entrepreneur and any company. It's just on a smaller scale.
Yeah, I like that comment you made, because I've never called it that, but spraying and praying, like, well, I have a Facebook page. Let me put all this content. Oh, no one did anything with it. And then they stop. Or like, I did my website through GoDaddy, Starter. It didn't work, so I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to network. I'm just going to hope that everything comes to me.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have we heard that? Like, countless amount of times.
Right.
So, cue image 8. So, email tips. So, transitioning from the customer experience, email marketing. So it's a great way to do that. And again, we'll get more tips. So again, thanks, Esther, for coming on. So cue image 8. And this kind of shocked me. Including the recipient's name in the subject line increases open rate 22%.
Like, I read that and I was like,
I never do that.
that's what I'm doing wrong.
It's such a small thing, and it can be done. Every single company's email, sending platform can provide the ability to say, dear Esther, you might be interested in XYZ. And to be honest, there are, domestic things like a Gmass, for instance, that allows you to send mass emails right from Gmail. There are a lot of products that can be used very economically that allow you to create that personalized email in mass. But yeah, the subject, adding that personalization right in that subject line, getting someone to open up the email is the most important thing to do. And because otherwise all is lost. You can't give an offer, they don't look at it.
Right.
So subject, and then the pre-header, which is a little tiny first line that you'll often see in email clients. Those two are the most important things. They might need to be compelling to get people to be interested in opening up the message. Otherwise, the rest of it doesn't matter.
Right. I mean, when I read that, preparing for this, I'm like, I'm going to get scolded already, or wrong, detention, The next stat in that, or next tip, 35% of recipients open emails based on the subject line alone. So again, you mentioned like compelling. So why the heck am I going to open this email? Joe's my friend, but I don't care that much to read an email from him, or it gets lost in junk mail or something. So we have to do a better job.
I mean, that's something that I think I personally struggle with, because whenever I'm sending, like, let's say cold call emails out to a business, what do I need to put in the subject line that's going to make them want to actually open it?
Right.
Yeah. Asking questions is often a great way to get people intrigued. So start your email subject with, with a question, and that might be related to whatever it is that you're offering. And just it's those small things that pique curiosity that get people to actually engage.
Right. And then email personalization can increase your reply rate by 100%. So,
right. And it's not just the name. It's, we've seen that you've purchased XYZ in the past. Here's this new product that might be of interest to you. But using or calling back to the things that this customer has done with you, or you have last made an offer 3 weeks ago. Guess what we have for you now? Things like that. Just knowing or showing that you know who they are. And this is also these principles apply to business transactions as well as consumer transactions. Business to business transactions, the people who are running those, they're people too.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's important to give that personalized experience, particularly because a lot of those transactions tend to be high dollar. So it's important to put that together. So if you prove and you show that you understand who this person is and what they're doing with you, they in turn will engage more.
Awesome. So Q Image 9, since it is National Women's Small Business Month, we've done this the past couple episodes, but I just don't want to discount the fact there are nearly 13 million women-owned businesses in the United States, employing 9.4 million workers and generating revenue of $1.9 trillion. So to all our women small business owners, entrepreneurs out there, congratulations. Keep up the good work and everything. So now we'll do our formal introduction. Q Image 10, Esther. So I met Esther, I think it was on a webinar you did with Dialogue Tech in either February or March. And I was compelled with the content and reached out to you via LinkedIn and just kind of maintain a dialogue. You're the founder and CEO of Rare Solutions, 2020 Enterprising Women of the Year Award winner, 2019 Women Presidents Organization Women to Watch, Inc. 5,000 fastest growing companies in New Jersey, one of the best places to work, a graduate of Temple University. But I want you to share, where did the name Rare Solutions come from and what is it that you guys do exactly?
Sure. Okay. So the name came to me in a dream. I dreamed the word in the spelling, RAARE. And I woke up in the middle of the night and I said, okay, I'm going to register the domain. This is about 20 years ago. I got up in the middle of the night, I registered the domain, and I said, someday I'm going to do something with it. And a couple of years later, I started my first consulting firm as an independent consultant. And and then just over the years, I transformed it, turned it into a more formal company structure. And, here we are today.
And so what did you do when you first started your business?
So I worked in business process consulting. I had a background in enterprise architecture and application development. So I was recruited by a company to work on enterprise portals, which was the hot thing in the early 2000s. So I helped develop them for a couple of different companies, and then just got into business process analysis and then customer data. And then that really became the foundation of a lot of my consulting work.
Mm-hmm.
And did a couple stints in corporate and decided I really liked being a company owner and running my own business. So about 7 years ago, I started Rare Solutions and hired my first people, took a leap of faith and won some contracts, and here we are today.
Nice.
Awesome. Joe, the first question?
Yeah. What are some lessons that you've learned as an early entrepreneur?
Okay. One is that, of course, when you start off on your own, it's using the power of partnership. So creating trusted partner networks to work with you to make your company be an offer more than just you. The sum of the parts is greater than the individuals. So as an example, a few years ago, I was referred to Ferrari to go and do marketing operations for them. But they had asked me about creative services, and that's not something that we specialize in. My creative juices end at a stick figure. So I know another woman-owned business, the S3 agency here in New Jersey, and I called them up and I said, hey, let's partner up and go in on this together. So they came in on the creative end, I came in on the operations end, and we won that together. And that model has worked for other client engagements as well. So use your partners, be a trusted partner. It means you need to be ethical and honest and clear on what you offer. And they as well find trusted partners, and you can go after very large engagements while still being relatively small and growing.
Nice.
Awesome. So what's the best piece of advice that you have been given?
Oh gosh, learn accounting. If I could go back to my 20-year-old self, and then I could go back to my 40-year-old self as I was starting all these various businesses, I think that one of the most valuable educational branches you can study. It doesn't matter what you want to do in life, is accounting, because just an understanding your cash flow and being able to control it and know where you're making money and where you're not, and then also to learn to be, kind of hard about where you're making money and where you're not, and be able to cut things loose when they don't work for you. Knowing the principles allow you to make better business decisions and also prevent you from finding yourself in a financial bind. So
Nice.
money is always really important. And even though we work in maybe be considered creative arenas,
Mhm.
the money is still the money. You have to
Right.
learn.
So why is marketing so important?
Marketing is it's really how you're connecting. It's fundamentally, and we always say this, it connects the medium. This is an old phrase from a guy in the 1980s, Marshall McLuhan. The medium to the medium is the message. Well, here in marketing, you're connecting the medium to your message. So it's really the art and science of understanding your customer
Mhm.
and communicating with your customer and engaging with your customer and having them develop a relationship with you as a brand. So it's not just pushing out an offer, it's not just selling, it's really the development of a trusting and productive customer relationship, and then also giving a customer a journey with you. Every customer is on a journey with your brand, whether you are controlling the journey or not. And marketing allows you to then basically curate a customer's journey with you, whether it is purchase that, and in some industries, and you might be buying something every day, right? In the case of Amazon, in automotive, which is where I do quite a lot of work, and in travel, you might be buying something once a year or once every 3 years. Or once every 5 years. So, and that journey might last many, many years, especially in something large like a vehicle where you have maintenance and service over time. So, understanding that journey and then cultivating that with the messages that you send, and then the media, which is really all the channels, whether it's email, direct mail, SMS. Now, more esoteric channels like a vehicle, you can actually communicate via a car. Smart devices, iPads, even your Alexa. No, Alexa, I'm not talking to you. But all of those things, in cultivating and creating messages that are relevant across what the consumer needs and expects and the channels that they wish to engage with you, creating that really creates that brand affinity and that loyalty, and people will spend more money. So it's really
Awesome.
the art and science and using the data properly to make that engagement intelligent and worthwhile.
So for the image 11, so I reached out to Esther because I thought she could not only we wanted to highlight a woman small business owner and entrepreneur, but with the work she's done, where she's come from, I wanted to share maybe her big business strategies for the everyday entrepreneur. So the word, like some of our audience members, when we say the word data, may be a little confused, or what you just mentioned with like brand loyalty, maybe like way overwhelming for them. But I think when we talked, and Joe, you and I have talked in the past too, the playbook, whether you're a huge brand like Ferrari to like the corner nail salon or the sub shop, there's some things that still remain true with how to get like a marketing strategy out, right? Or some of the things you want to enhance your brand. So I wanted just you to talk to our audience a little bit about that. So you mentioned like the power of networking, connecting, partnership, and everything. If you could just talk to our audience a little bit about that, Esther, it'd be great.
Sure. And especially for smaller businesses, what I have found over the last several years is the connection of similarly minded and similarly sized organizations. So as an example, I'm a certified woman-owned business, and I was certified through an organization called WeBank. There are other certifications and for LGBT, veterans, disabled, minority. There are a lot of different organizations, and the power of that is that it allows you to work and meet other like-minded businesses, experience their pain, their challenges, and their opportunities. In addition, large companies go and look at these diverse organizations to meet up and have a chance to contact and connect with smaller businesses. There's a great advocacy among the Fortune 500 companies to really look at and engage with smaller, diverse suppliers. So joining these organizations makes a big difference. Even the local chamber of commerce, even though sometimes you might feel, I don't have the time for this, the connections that are made and the partnerships that are made make a huge difference. It also helps in advocacy. So as an example, in New Jersey, there's a movement from a very dear colleague of mine called NJ Small. And what we're doing is we're advocating for large companies to receive a tax break if they do business with small businesses. So in that advocacy, what we're trying to do is to get more large businesses to pay attention to the small businesses. But the only way to get your voice heard is to join these organizations and go and connect with people. So I would say, even though it might not be seen as an expense or of time or money, it does pay off because it does give you that view into organizations that you might have a hard time doing on your own. And it doesn't matter, even if you're retail, local retail, there's tremendous amount of opportunities. Even, for instance, your sub shop, go ahead and do corporate provisioning. Maybe not now in COVID, but catering as an example. Getting that exposure through these organizations help with building businesses in new directions.
I guess the partnership that happened to us with our Google partnership. We were a Google partner, and then they had a big Seattle event. We were invited, and we're one of maybe 8 or 9 partner agencies. Then from there, we started hosting our own workshops and like helping educate businesses more. So by saying we're like a Google partner, they advocate for us, like, hey, here's your local chapter or business that you could go to and everything. But I think every business out there could probably benefit from that, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, It's awesome stuff. Cue image 12. So I just wanted to put this image up because by the time this podcast comes up, if you haven't set your daylight savings time, I created this post. Don't fall back on your marketing. Think forward. So similar to what Esther was saying, that what we learned today, don't settle for what you have. People are still pivoting and trying to find new ways to connect with clients. I think especially now that people are home, brands, businesses have to be creative with how they interact and engage with their people. Because some businesses, if it's the sub shop, well, it has to be pickup or like curbside. Right. You may not go. I mean, some places are opening up more frequently, but like some businesses may be more hurt. But on the flip side, like some retail businesses they're increasing their business and everything. Right. So I guess just a way to handle all that.
Yep.
Right. Again, Joe, and again, Esther, are there any last things you want to mention? I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for jumping on and sharing some of your some tips and being on with us for our podcast.
Thanks to you and Joe for having me. The best thing I can say is, obviously 2020 has been chaotic and uncertainty still is ahead. But don't be afraid, because everybody else is in the same boat as you are. And ultimately, if you have passion for what you're doing, and just some patience as we deal with everything from regulatory constraints to social unrest as we're looking out into the world. Ultimately, if you believe in what you're doing and you believe what you're doing is right, ultimately you'll prevail. Just keep on doing what you do and believe in the power of you.
Right. Skills are cheap. Passion is priceless. Gary V quote there. Cue image 1 back up on screen. So Valor Cares, Joe, just a quick reminder on our Valor Cares promotion. We're passionate about helping businesses. So
absolutely. So just a way for us to give back to local businesses, small to medium-sized businesses nationwide. We just want to be able to give back and give a website to a business that kind of really needs it.
Right. So next month, cue the last image 13. So Veterans Day is next month. We're going to highlight on our podcast
Mhm.
some veteran-owned businesses. Just a teaser, we have a cool guest coming on, Dale King from Doc Spartan. He was actually on Shark Tank. He's based out of Ohio. We'll be sharing his story. So again, thank you for the veterans out there. Joe, you're a
Yep.
veteran yourself.
Yep.
So thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you for
And
your
again,
service.
Esther, thanks for joining our podcast.
Thank you so much. I
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it.
Yeah. So on,
Wow.
thank you to CR Gutters and Advanced Septic Services. My name is Galen,
I'm Joe.
and we're coming at you from the BD Local Studios in Tacoma, Washington. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.
Thanks. Take care.